Hey loves, welcome and welcome back again to another interesting tutorial video. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys the easiest way to attach a yoke to your corset blouse, because then starting as a beginner, then it was so hard for me to do this. Sometimes I'll end up spending like 1 hour 2 hours just for me to be able to fix my yoke. Sometimes I will sew and sew again, I'll sew and lose. And I also know that there are so many people out there that still don't know how to do this. So I was urged to do this particular video. So guys, please, if this is what you're interested in, keep on watching. Do not skip any part of this video so that you won't lag behind. Okay, so I have my fabric here and I also have the lining. I've also gone ahead to attach every down thing. The only thing remaining here is just the yoke, and then to close up the lining, right? So I have the yoke, the two nets that I'll be using for this yoke, and I've already gone ahead to sew the neckline, okay, and turn it up. So the next thing I want to do now is just to use my affix pin and then pin this together so that I can be able to go and top stitch on it. So guys, I'm done pinning down, and the next thing I'm going to do is to move over to my sewing machine and I'm going to make a stitch on this part, okay? And when I'm done, this is what I have. You can see it's very nice, and I also went ahead to give it a nice press, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is to flip the two of them together like this, okay? I'm going to fold it together like this, and then I'm going to notch out the center of it. So make sure you fold it very well and then notch out the center. Then I'm going to also repeat the same thing on the main fabric. I'm going to fold together like this, and then I'm going to notch out the center of it, okay, the midpoint of it, and then I'm also going to repeat the same thing on the lining piece. So after you are done, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring out the two nets. I'm going to place the place that I notched, okay, the place I notched on the net and the place I notched on the main fabric. I'm going to place them together, and then I'm going to pin out. So I'll continue pinning until I get to the end, okay? I'm just going to pin one side. Please watch closely so that you get to understand what I mean, okay? While pinning it, please you make sure that the net and the neckline of the main fabric is equal, okay? Do not make one to be longer or shorter than the other one, okay? So I'm done pinning it down, and then the next thing I'm going to do now is I want to open it up for you guys to see what we are going to have when you are done, okay? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, the tricks, the main thing that you have to do while sewing your own that is going to help you is just to draw it down. Can you see the way I'm drawing mine? Just draw your own down and then use your affix pin to pin them down, because if you do not do it like this, you might end up sewing and losing again, okay? So for some people will tell me that affix pin is for people that is still learning work. Nah, it's not true, because you can even see affix pin in the those people that we are looking up to, those our fashion designers, all these like Vicky James. You cannot tell me that Vicky James does not use affix pin. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place my lining piece on top of it, and I'm going to move over to my sewing machine now to make a stitch from this place to the end of this part, okay? Remember that we have not fixed the other side, okay? So after you are done sewing that side, you just come back and then repeat the same thing on the other side. So I'm done sewing mine, and this is what I have. So notch out, okay, but before then I'm going to cool down and remove all the pins. Please, it is very necessary. Cool down and remove all the pins, okay? So I'm going to cool down and remove all the pins, and after I'm done removing it, I will go ahead and notch out. While notching out, please be careful so that you don't cut the sewing thread. Okay, so it's now time to sew this part, but let me also remove the pin that I used to pin down the net, okay, to hold down the net. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to start doing the same thing that I did earlier. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing the net up. At this point it might be impossible, but you have to do it slowly and easily, okay, so that you can be able to get what you want, because fixing this part is not going to be easy at all. It's going to be very hard for you. So I'm going to, if I'm breaking it, I will be pinning it down just a bit by bit, okay. You don't just go ahead and rush it. Don't rush it. You have to cool down, cool your mind down, and then pin down, okay. So after pinning down, you can see what we have. I'll also go ahead and use my affix pin to hold down the net, okay. This will seem like it is impossible, but with your patience and your perseverance, you are going to achieve this more better, okay, because this is what I normally do. Because if you don't do it like that, you might end up not having what you want to have. Like, you might end up doing it the wrong way, right? So I'm going to cool down now, and then I'm going to be dragging the net down. You have to be very careful. Don't drag it too hard, because you know you are working with a two net and it's not that strong. So you have to cool down, and then make sure that you bring out all the necessary things that you have to push out, okay, so that I can be able to sew, right? So I'm going to pin them down right now, and after pinning them down, I'll also come back and show you the next thing to do. This is not what you are going to rush. It's not what you'll be rushing. You have to cool down. Have to cool down, okay. With the help of that pin, you'll be able to get what you want, to achieve what you want, okay. So you have to cool down and do all these things. Okay, keep dragging the net down. If you drag, you hold it down, okay. If you drag it, you hold it down, okay, so that by the time you start sewing, you just sew straight. You just don't have to sew and stop, you know, all these stuffs. So you have to be patient while doing this. Exercise patience. Make sure you don't have any rumpled nets around there, okay. Make sure it's not rumpled. Make sure it doesn't fold, okay. So after you are done holding them down, you are going to move over to your sewing machine and then make a stitch on that side, okay, just the same way we did earlier, okay. So guys, I'm done sewing mine, and this is what I have. This is what we have here, okay. So I'm also going to cool down now and then remove all the pins. At this part, I have a lot of pins that I use here. So I'm going to cool down and remove all the pins, and then I'm going to notch as well. It is very, very important to notch whenever you are working with a curvy line like this. You have to notch, so that by the time you flip your lining, you are going to have a very flat and clean surface, okay. So I'm going to remove all the pins. I don't want to rush this video. Because I want you guys to get what I'm saying, okay. Even if you don't understand what I'm saying, you have to watch. When you are watching, I'm sure you are going to understand it very well. So this is what I have after I'm done. You can see how fine and neat it came out to be. Can you see that there's no any rumple there. Can you see that the net does not fold? So if you do yours like this, you can as well have something like this. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to top stitch. Okay, but for this top stitching, it's going to be on the lining part. Okay, I'm going to fold that hem, that place that I sew. I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to just top stitch on the top of it. Okay, so when I'm done top stitching, I also went ahead to sew this side. Okay, you can see the lines where I top stitch earlier is on the lining parts, right? So this is what I have after I'm done. So it's now time to give this a nice press. Please, if you are pressing it, make sure you don't have a very hot iron. Okay, sprinkle some water so that it doesn't burn your net. Okay, no, net is not a hard something, it's not, it's just very soft like a tissue, so you have to be careful while ironing on it. So can you see what we have here? Can you see how neat it came out? Okay, can you see? It's very fine and beautiful, very neat. Okay, so this is what we have. So I want to also show you guys on how you can also attach your backsline. Okay, how you can also, you know, this upper side has a backsline, so I want to show you guys how you can be able to attach it on your skirt part. Okay, so I'm going to bring out the skirt part. So I'm going to bring out the skirt part, and this is what I have. I'm done turning up the lining and everything. So the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to bring out the upper side, and I'm going to place it. After I'm done placing it on top of that the skirt part, I'm going to trace out that line. So after tracing out that line, I'm going to keep it aside, and I'm going to come up from that line that I traced out with half an inch. Okay, just come up with half an inch from that line, and then I'm going to fold it like this and then cut out. While cutting out, I'm going to cut out from that first line. Okay, starting from that waistline, I'm going to cut out from the first line that we had there. Okay, this is just like the sewing allowance, right? So you trace out and then bring out half inch for sewing allowance. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to pin it down so that I can be able to sew. So I'm going to bring out, and then I'm going to place it, and then I'm going to sew one part first and the other side. Okay, after you're done pinning down this part, I'm going to pin down this part as well. So after you're done pinning down, you move out to your sewing machine and make a stitch around it. So when you are done doing all these things, this is what you are going to have. Okay, this is the shape you are going to have after you are done doing all these things. So thank you so very much for watching my video. Thank you for always coming back to watch my video. Please, if you have not subscribed, hit on that subscribe button, turn up your bell notification so that whenever I post a video, you get notified. Please and please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can be able to see it. Share the video so that it can reach a wide audience. Okay, so I'm going to see you guys in my next video, so stick around, and then bye.